So in order to do labs, we need to go through a few things like how to record your data, our honesty policy, and answering lab questions. So we're going to do that really quickly at the beginning of class today. Then we don't need to talk about it tomorrow. We can just get right down to the lab. So this is page 3. Page 3. You don't have to feel like your head's like on sideways. There we go, that's better. Okay. Oh, and don't forget, if you are unhappy with your result on the quiz, what can you do? You can retake it. All quizzes you can retake. How about tests? No. Okay, but you'll have lots of practice before the test. In fact, this might be one of the questions on the test. Look at that. Okay. All data and observations must be recorded in either blue or black non-erasable pen. If you don't have such a writing implement tomorrow, I will have something I can lend you, okay? Now, it needs to be a normal blue pen and not a frou-frou blue pen. And the reason I don't want it to be this color is because I like marking in this color. And if you write in this color, then I can't mark in this color. So you write in blue or black, and then I can mark in pink or orange or red. I have a little bit of a thing about pens. They make me happy. Okay, so, and it has to be in pen, and we'll talk about why in just a moment or two. Each student must record their own data. So you'll all get your own lab sheet, and every person will write down their data. So it's not just one per group, it's one per person. Okay, so each student has to record their data and observations, and you want to do it in real time. Don't wait until after and copy it down from your partner, okay? You'll have lots of time to do the lab, so take the time to write it right as you're doing it. Do not record your data and observations on a scrap piece of paper or a piece of paper towel and then copy it onto your lab report later, okay? Don't do that. Write on your lab right away. Your first copy is your final copy. You may not record your data and observations in pencil and then later go over them in pen, because that would be the same as just writing them in pencil, okay? Other things that you can't do. Let's say you make a mistake and you want to get rid of it. What you are supposed to do is you're supposed to take your pen and just draw a single line. And that's good, okay? What you don't want to do is you don't want to take your error and obliterate it. And you don't want to use whiteout. So no obliterating. no whiteout, just a single line. If you have, be sure to leave enough space to allow for crossing out and writing of corrections. That shouldn't be a problem too much on this lab. Okay, coming up. If there is an entire block of work that you have done and you're like, oh, I feel like all of this paragraph is wrong and I'd like to get rid of it. So let's say you wrote something like blah, 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 and you're like, I don't like this part at the top. It is incorrect. I want to get rid of it. You can just cross it out with a single diagonal line, or you can X it out with 2 diagonal lines. Yes? Will I mark that? The stuff that's under the X? No. Okay. Now, why does it have to be pen? Okay. So we're always going to write in pen, never in pencil, and this is for several reasons. Number one, pencil writing can be erased, and you can rewrite your data. And if you go on to study at university or you become a researcher, you might be asked questions about the authenticity or the goodness of your data. Yes? How good is your data? If you've been erasing things, can I trust your data? No. If I see that you've written something down, you crossed it out because you just made a mistake, at least I can see, you know, what was there before, right? Second is that pencil can smudge when you're actually working in a university, or if you're doing research for like a company or the government or something like that. They will give you a bound lab book. Like it'll actually look like something like this, except for the pages will have blank like lines in them so you can write on it. Okay, but it's like actually bound like that. So you can't tear out pages or anything like that because you want a complete record of everything you've done. Because it's so permanent, if you have pencil, it tends to get smudged. Okay? One thing I'd like you to get used to about your labs is that you're not going to get too hung up, and I know some people will have trouble with this, about getting things wrong or about the neatness. Okay? I want it to be relatively tidy, but I do not need it to be a work of beauty. Yes? Some people will spend a lot of time. Oh my gosh, when I was in grade 11, I found in this box of stuff I got from my parents when I got a house. You know, I moved into a house with my husband. We had a basement. We went away for spring break. My parents looked after the house for us. Came back, there were 19 boxes in my basement that weren't there before. My parents had brought over all my crap from my childhood home, and they're like, here, you deal with it. Anyway, in there I found a lab from grade 11, and you know what I would do? I would get myself a ruler, and I would like underline with my ruler. And you know what I would do? I would be like, oh, there's something hanging down. I would leave a little space. And then I would underline it twice because I don't know why, right? You don't need to be like all that. Just tidy is good. You don't need to be all crazy like I was, okay? So you want it to be neat-ish. You don't need it to be beautiful. If you study science in post-secondary, marks will literally be deducted from your labs if you use pencil or whiteout. This is on our next page. So if you study science in post-secondary, marks will be deducted if you use pencil or whiteout, or if you scribble things out, or if you record your data on a scrap piece of paper. So it's really hard to remember to do that. Like I'll honestly have a conversation about using pen only, and people in grade 12 who've been through the whole system a few times will still start writing in pencil. So I'm just going to make it a habit that you get into right now, and that way maybe you'll remember when it comes to university and you're you know, having to do that. If you're not going into sciences, you can just be like, well, this is a silly rule I need to follow. Oh, well, I guess I'll follow it because my teacher wants me to. Writing in pencil first and going over later in pen, or scribbling out or whiting out, it also means that you might be accused of fudging your results or making things up, okay? And finally, if you have a mistake, if you've made a mistake and you cross it out with a single line and then you write your correction, you'll be able to see what your mistake is, and then hopefully you'll not make the same mistake again because you'll be reminded, oh, this is what I did wrong last time. I won't do that again, okay? We're not going to worry about this adulting bit because you guys seem pretty reasonable people who don't need a lecture on that. Honesty policy. We are now on to page 5. Do you guys know what cheating is? I assume that by the time you get here, you know what cheating is and that most of you will not do it. What happens is every year I get 1 or 2 people who do something stupid. Very often I catch them, and often it results in tears, okay? Like literally, like, because you know, unless you're like a sociopath, you should feel bad about cheating. Yes, if you do cheat. And if you're a sociopath, then I don't know what like, there's nothing I can do for you. You would need to seek psychiatric help, right? Like with a counselor or something. You know that you should not plagiarize or copy other people's work. Yes? You know that you should not give your work to another student and say, here, it's okay, you can copy mine. So you shouldn't copy and you shouldn't give it to someone to copy. You know that if you're copying from another person's test paper or allowing someone to copy from your test paper, that that is not a good thing, right? You know that if you have your phone, which fortunately we don't have to worry about because we all put them away. If you have your phone with you on a test and you're looking things up, that's not okay, right? Because you guys aren't stupid. You know these things, right? You know that if you were to find an examination or a test, you know, sitting on my desk and you stole it before the test, that would not be right. Yes? And you should feel that that's a bad thing. Now, I don't normally find that people tend to do stupid things like that in grade 9 because grade 9 is pretty low stakes. Nobody's like, oh, I'm not going to get into university if I don't get 96%. People get so wound up about that. Don't believe it. You don't need 96% to get into university. That's ridiculous. Okay? But there are lots of rumors that are out there and they're like, no, I must have this grade to get into university. And they will make bad choices. And sometimes my grade 12s will cheat because they really are worried because it's such a high pressure situation. But you guys are in grade 9. If you really don't do well on your test, what can you do? You can come in and do corrections with me, yes? If you don't do well on your quiz, you can retake the quiz. It's all about just, you know, making your learning progress. All right, so that's just saying, please do not copy other people's lab reports. Come up with your answers on your own, okay? If you need to talk about an answer with someone, that's fine. If you want to ask me for help, that's fine, okay? Just don't be copying. And finally, page 6. There will be some questions in the lab that you do tomorrow. You should answer them in full sentences. And not just any old full sentence, but a full sentence that allows me to know what the question was asking. So if the question wasn't there, I should be able to figure out what the question was asking from your answer. You should be clear. You should be concise. If you don't know the word concise, it means not too wordy. Don't use 17 words if you could use 5 words, okay? And in theory, you should be grammatically correct. Am I going to give you marks off if you're not grammatically correct? No. I will correct your grammar because I think grammar is important. It shows care and attention to your work. But I know there's a lot of people who English is their second language, and there's a lot of people who just, haven't got the rules straight in their head yet. So I will correct it for you so you know what's correct, but I won't take off marks for it. Okay? Same thing with spelling. I'll correct it for you, but it's not like for marks. Okay? Has anyone heard of the third person passive voice or even just the passive voice? I didn't think so. You'll probably hear about it in English in the next couple of years. Passive voice, third person passive voice, means you're not going to use I or we. Okay? It's kind of hard to write that way if you haven't done it before. So if you have trouble figuring out how to write that way, you can ask me. Yes? When in English, they'll tell you never to use the passive voice. But if you have a really, with it English teacher, they'll say never use the passive voice unless you're doing a scientific paper or scientific lab report. Okay? So let's take a look at a sentence that maybe we did the lab and we discovered that the mixture in part 5 of the experiment was a heterogeneous mixture. I might write, it was determined to be heterogeneous because, and then I'd write blah, 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 why. There's a few things that are wrong with the way I've written this so far. And the first one is this thing here. What might be wrong with the use of the word it? Have a chat with your partner about that. Okay, anyone want to give me a reason, a possible reason? Liam. You're not Liam? You're not, but Liam sits there in my other block. That's why it came into my head. I am so sorry, Zach. Zach. It's not very specific. Yeah, it is just sort of hanging out there. What is a heterogeneous mixture? Was it, what I found at the bottom of my sink? Was it what was in the garbage can? Like, I don't know what it is. So never use it unless it's really clear what you're referring to. And it's not here, okay? So we would fix that and we would say the mixture in part 5 of the experiment, instead of it, was a heterogeneous mixture. The mixture was determined to be heterogeneous because blah, 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 blah. My husband is an engineer, and he runs his own company at this point, and he says the use of the word it is one of his pet peeves, and he tries to get rid of it altogether because it just creates confusion when you're communicating. Okay? All right, you are also going to, if you make any conclusions, in other words, if you come up with any inferences, you need to make sure you back them up by using your evidence, your observations. So if you say, I think it was blah, 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 in our case, we wouldn't say that. We wouldn't say I think. We would say, it was found that this was the case. Okay, you would back that up and say, because it was observed that this happened and this happened and this happened. Okay, like I said, if you have trouble putting that sentence structure together, talk to me, I'll help you with it. Because right now you're just learning it for what might be only the first time, maybe the second time, maybe you learned it last year and have forgotten it, I don't know. We're not going to talk about calculations. There are no calculations in tomorrow's lab. Alrighty. You guys have been sitting and listening. You need a little stretch break. I would like you to stand up and stretch. And once you have stood up and stretched, stand up, stretch. And do some cross body motion. Touch your opposite shoulder behind your head. Touch your opposite shoulder in front of your body. Touch your opposite hip in front of your body. Touch your opposite hip behind your body. And now you're going to go get some string and tie a couple knots. When you're done tying your knots, you're going to put away the string and come back to your desk. Everyone go tie some knots. Yes. Yes. Hi.
I just wanted to ask, okay, it's like just wondering, but what's like the reason behind the knots thing?
The knots, we're going to use a knot in tomorrow's lab.
Oh.
Plus, we're practicing spaced repetition so that you can see, oh, if I've done it last week and then I did it the next day and now I do it this week, now I remember it without having to watch the video or see it, and it sticks with you better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And if you're done and you're happy, you can just put it away. Okay? Yep, once you're done and you're happy, you can put it away. Sure thing. We're just gonna wait for people to get their stuff put away, and then we'll get started. We're on page 25, and we're gonna do it together because it's something that you don't know yet. Okay, once you're all cleaned up, you're going to turn to page 25, and we're gonna go through this together. Okay. Now, why on earth are we tying so many knots? Because tomorrow's lab requires you to tie a knot. And the physics teachers expressed that they were quite shocked when some of their grade 11 and 12 students could not tie a simple knot. And so I was like, we can fix that. Plus also, I wanted it to be a good, like, real life example of spaced repetition. How easy was it to tie the knot today, a week later, than it was like last week? Was it easier? Are you remembering it better? Right? So spaced repetition at work. So hopefully that will encourage you to adopt that into your study habits, okay? So if I'm not assigning you something, I try and assign things repeatedly so that you go back and review them again. But if I'm not doing that, you can do it for yourself also, okay? So page 25. All right, so we have here a lovely little ruler. And in any measurement that we make, the final digit, fill in final, is considered to be the estimated digit. So the last digit of any measurement is the estimated digit. We also can call this the uncertain digit. So let's record the length of this pencil. What I'd like you to do is I would like you to write down what you think the length of this pencil is. And then once you've got your guess written down, I'd like you to compare it with the person sitting next to you. Yeah, these are centimeters. All right, anyone want to give me an example of what they have? Yes. About 6 centimeters. Okay, so we're going to say 6 centimeters. Any others? Yes. 6.1 centimeters. Anything else? You got a 6.2? Yeah, we could have 6.2 centimeters. Anything else? Yes. 6.15124. All right. Now, in any measurement, you need to have 3 things. You need to have what you are measuring. So I've written that down for you this time. That would be length of pencil. What are we measuring? We are measuring the length of the pencil. we need to have, and this is probably something that is new to you this year, we need to have one and only one estimated digit. So you can't have two estimated digits, you can't have three estimated digits, just one. But you have to have that one estimated digit. And finally, we need to have the units of measurement, and so that would be our centimeters. So each of these have centimeters, so all of those are correct. Okay? I would like you to take a look at these four possible answers and have a chat with your partner about which of those contain only one uncertain digit. One and only one uncertain digit. All right, what do we think about 6? Are we unsure about the 6? Are we looking at that pencil and saying, maybe it's not 6, maybe it's 5 centimeters, maybe it's 7 centimeters? Are we unsure about the 6? Could it be 5 centimeters? Is that pencil 5 centimeters long? No. Could it be 7 centimeters long? No. So we are 100% sure about the 6. So that is what we call a certain digit. So does this number have any uncertain digits? Nope. So this number is missing an uncertain digit. So this one would not get you full credit. Okay? How about 6.1? Well, the 6 was, I'm just going to say C for certain, okay? And I'm going to say U for uncertain. Is the 0.1 uncertain? Yep. So that digit right there is uncertain. Do we have one and only one uncertain digit? Yes, we do. The 6s, we are sure about the 6. We are estimating the 1. How about 6.2? So this one would be okay. This is that's a good one there. How about 6.2? Does that have the one and only one uncertain digit? Yes. If I had to underline it, what would the uncertain digit be? The 2. Okay, so that's uncertain. Only one uncertain digit. Now, how about 6.15124, which is a fun measurement, I have to say. I did enjoy it. How many uncertain digits do we have here? We have 5 uncertain digits. So that one, again, we couldn't do. So 6.1 centimeters is okay, 6.2 centimeters is okay, and we have to say that this one is no and this one is no, okay? So when you get a quiz on this, which you will have next week, no earlier than Tuesday, okay, I'm just letting you know, next week there will be a quiz, but no earlier than Tuesday. When I figure out exactly what day it's going to be on, I'll put it up on Teams. You will need to record the blue thing, what you're measuring, the yellow thing, the one and only one uncertain digit, right, there or there, and you'll need to record the green thing, the unit. Now, just before we carry on, I would like to talk about place values. I'm going to go to the tippy top of the page because there's a little bit of space there. Place values. I think most of you know this already, but just in case we have the same, so we all have the same vocabulary. If I have a number like that, what position is that one right before the decimal? That's the ones. The one beside it to the left is the tens. And of course, if we had another one, it would be the hundreds. Okay? Now, after the decimal place, what do we have? We have the tenths, or you can just say the 0.1 position, okay, if you want to. We have the, what's the next one? Hundredths. In other words, the 0.01 position, and we have the thousandths. The 0.001 position. And of course, we could go the 10 thousandths and the 100 thousandths and the thousands and the millions and the whatever, but we're just going to go there. So those are our place values. Those are our positions. Now, if we have an object that falls right on the line, hi. All right, so what if it falls right on the line? So if the measured object is exactly on the line, I'd like you guys once again to try writing down a measurement for this. Remembering that you need to include all those three things, the blue, the yellow, and the green, when you're making that measurement. You need to include an estimated zero, yes. I should really write an, because that would make more sense. So if you have an object that is exactly on a line, you need to add an estimated zero. So would it be okay if I just wrote 6 centimeters? No, because am I unsure about the 6? Am I like, maybe it's a 7? Could it be 7? No, so that's not estimated. So I have to estimate one more place value, which means I'm in the ones. I need to estimate to the tenths position. Would I get full credit for this answer the way I've written it? No, I would get 1 mark for saying centimeters. Yay, look at me go, yay. I would get 1 mark for choosing 6 instead of something dumb like a 2, okay? Yes, you do get a mark for like just reading the number correctly. And you would get 1 mark for having that uncertain digit there, okay? But what have I missed? Yes? What we're measuring. So what are we measuring? The length of pencil. Lazy scientist. If you don't want to write length of pencil, you can write L for length. And then down at the bottom right, you can write pencil. So that's an option for you. Now that you know your abbreviations, if you were measuring mass, you could write M instead of mass. Volume, you could just write V instead of volume. Now, one thing I'd like you to note here, how much is, or how far is this distance? That's 1 centimeter. So the smallest division on this ruler is 1 centimeter. Each line is worth 1 centimeter. We can estimate, we will always estimate one more place value than what the lines are worth. So if the lines are worth 1 centimeter, we'll go to the 0.1. Okay? So if each line is worth 1 centimeter, we estimate one more place value, the 0.1 position. Now we have kind of a useless ruler. It's not a very good ruler, unless you're measuring something really, really big, maybe. We have a marking at 0, and we have a marking at 10 centimeters. I would like you to record the length of this ruler. How long do you think it is? And once you've decided, tell your partner. All right, I want to get some values. What have we got? 7 centimeters. We have a 7. I hear a 7. Do I hear something else? Yes. 6.6. Do I hear, what else do I hear? 6.5. Anything else? 6 centimeters. All right, let's take a look at this. I don't really know where that is. It could be 6, it could be 7. What does that mean about the ones position? That means the ones position is certain or uncertain. The ones position is uncertain. So I need to stop my measurement right there. I cannot have any digits after my uncertain digit. So this is my uncertain digit, this is my uncertain digit. So is it okay to have 6.6? No. Is it okay to have 6.5? No, because we're already guessing at the 6. Guessing after that just doesn't make any sense, okay? Now, the other way of looking at it, what is each line on this ruler worth? Each line on this ruler gives us how many centimeters? 10. We can estimate one more place value. Okay, so we have each line is worth 10 centimeters, so we can estimate one more place value. So we're going to estimate to the ones place. So that means our 6 is the digit we stop at, or the 7. Yeah. Yes, of course. So always estimate one more digit than the smallest marking on the measuring device. I would like you guys to try and come up with some good measurements, and I would like you to come up with some poor measurements. Come up with a couple of good measurements and maybe 1 or 2 poor measurements for this one here on the next page, page 26. We will be doing 27, yeah. We're going to do page 29 because 28 has triple beam balances on it, and I want to show people how to do that because they get confused. So if you're good doing, you can do 28. I just left. Some people haven't done it at all, so it's always kind of like you have to assume nobody's done anything. Yeah. So homework, Tristan, if you ever want to know, it's up here. It's also on Teams. Once you've got your good and poor measurements, compare with the people near you. See what you think and what they thought. Yeah. All right, who would like to give me a good measurement? Yes. 6 points, sorry? 7, sounds good. Anyone got another good measurement? Yes. 6.8, sure. Anyone want another one? You could have 6.6 if you wanted to, but you don't have to. Okay, so these would be good measurements. What would a poor measurement be? Yes. 6.75 centimeters, because we're already uncertain here. We cannot have that extra digit. Yes. 3, that would be another poor measurement. 3 centimeters, that would be poor. Yes? Okay, or even 5.9. That would be a bad measurement because it's just wrong. Yes, even though you got the decimal right. Each line is worth 1 centimeter. So we can estimate to the 0.1 position. I would like you to try the next one. And we've expanded this little tip here of the pencil so you can see it. Try that one. Come up with a couple of good measurements for that. So come up with some good and then some poor measurements. All right, my friends, what would a good measurement be? Yes, Arna. 6.7 would be a very good measurement, 6.7 centimeters. What would another good measurement be? Yes. 6.8, perfect. What would a poor measurement be? Yes. 6.76, because we already have our uncertain digit. We can't go past that. Okay, anyone got anything else they'd like to add to the plot? No, we're good. Each line, how much is each line worth? 0.1 centimeter. So we can estimate to the 0.01 place. Okay, or you can say the 10th of a centimeter, you can estimate to the hundredths. I can't spell. Hundredths. I'm just going to go with 0.01 because hundredths is giving me trouble today. Yes? Whoa! Oh my God. What is wrong with me? Oh no. I have messed up. It's late in the day. Sorry. Thank goodness you guys are paying attention. Look at this. This is 6.7 and this here is 6.8. So a good measurement would be, and don't be shy about crossing things out or whatever. We're somewhere between 6.7 and 6.8. So maybe 6.75, maybe 6.78. Okay, our uncertain digit is the hundredths position. Good on you guys for catching that because my brain is so tired at this time of day. I just kind of woo, right? Now, could we say 6.7? No, because we are sure about the 7. So no, we couldn't. Okay, could we say 6.773? No, because we're uncertain about that one. So we need to have that only one digit. All right, very quickly, let's get these next 3 ones written down. I need you to record it using all 3 things. Tristan, do you know the difference between these 3? You think so? Okay, cool. Okay, what do we like for the very first one? 6, sounds good to me. Any other options? Did anyone have anything different? I'm going to throw in a 7 just because. You could estimate 7. You would get full credit for writing 7. Would you get full credit for writing 1? No, because you're obviously kind of in the over halfway position there. Yeah? Now, would this get you full credit? No, what's missing? Length of the pencil equals, and the unit. So we would go yes, 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 yes. Because we have our uncertain digit right here, so that's our second check mark there, as well as just getting the number correct. How about this one? What do we like? Yes. 6.0. And of course, we would need to include length of pencil equals and centimeters. Yes. 5.9 works. So you could have 5.9 or you could have 6.1. Now, when it's a picture, it looks pretty much right on the 6.0. But if you had a real pencil and a real ruler, it would never be that perfect. Do you know what I mean? So there would be that little, is it 5.9? Is it 6.0? Is it 6.1? You'd be guessing a little bit, okay? Now, how about this final one here? What is each little division worth? How big is that? 1/10. So we know 1/10, so we estimate to the 0.01, one more position. So therefore, how long is our pencil? Yes, sorry. How long is our pencil? You could have 6.01, absolutely, 6.01 centimeters. What else is a good answer? 6.00. And finally, we could also go for 5.99, and that would also be fine. And do you know, even though I'm mentioning it now, how many of you are going to forget on your quiz next week to write length of pencil? I guarantee you some of you are going to do it, but I'm going to try and tell you every day so you're less likely to forget. Okay? Your homework, some of you may have finished this already. Feel free to work ahead to page 52 if you want to. Read 48 to 50. Do the questions in the box. Update your definitions on pages 43 to 44, except for the last two because they're on pages 51, 52. And you're going to do page 29, which is just like 3 questions on writing measurements so you don't forget. Okay?